Good morning, everyone. Today is really nice weather, so thanks for coming to my panel about cosplay performance. No, cosplay posing. Welcome. My name is Shiroku. I'm a German cosplayer from Hamburg, and I'm cosplaying since 12 years and made I think over 400 different photo shoots with photographers and different characters. And today I want to talk about cosplay posing, how you will look good on pictures. But even if someone here on the floor is asking, "Can I take a picture?" Then you know, oh, I exactly know what to do. So maybe I can help you a bit. If you have any questions, just raise your hand and come to the front and ask for a question. I'm always happy to help you guys. So let's get started. First file, please. Yeah. So today I will talk about know your character. It's always a good way. It's always important to know what you're cosplaying. I know there are a lot of people who just say, "Oh, this design is so cute, I want to cosplay it." You can also do it, but you should still know what you're doing because it can be a really cute character and she's actually a murderer and just running around and killing people. Know your own futures. So I think every woman or man. So I, for example, have parts of my body I don't really like, and there are possibilities to some kind change your perspective that you look better on pictures. The next thing is practice, practice, practice. One of my favorite parts. I will tell a bit more about it later. And work with a photographer. I don't know how you guys here are working with your photographers, but I always think that for everything, communication is the key. So also checking your pictures. I will talk about it later more. And if you have any concrete questions or concrete problems, don't hesitate to ask. So let's get started with the next file. So yeah, know your characters. I think the point, male or female, is very important because the costume can look super, super female, like a fluffy skirt and stuff like this, and it's actually a guy. So try to know if it's male or female. It can be very interesting, and it is actually like a male compose has in other, how I call it, body language than a female one. For example, like knees pointing to the outside, so no curves, so you're more standing straight like this. And if you were sitting, I will use this one for you would more sit like this. Oh yeah, I'm the king here. And it's also that you put your head more straight. For example, if you have a female cosplay, I mean, I'm no cross-playing, so it might look a bit weird if I sit like this. So just try to get to know how you should pose as a male or female. For example, females are more like this. Yeah, it looks so weird as I want to go to toilet if I do it as a male cosplayer. And more like the ass curve. So your boobs are more, you put your boobs more into the camera, or your ass like this. More like the very female and soft shape. And it is also the head. You can look really cute, just make a slight angle with your hair, which you can do when you are doing male cosplay, but it looks just really weird or gay. So if you want to cosplay a gay male cosplay character, it might also work, but it's actually really weird. So we also have the sweet, sexy, or cute. So what you actually want to show. This is the presentation for the male and the female. So you can here see the difference, how here between my partner and me, she is more very cute and is shaped and her head a bit ahead, and I'm more straight and more this here is also very important. The girls are making more like this, and the guys are more like this. And I have the next file where you can also see it. Yeah, the knees, for example. That if I'm a guy, I'm pointing my knees to the outside and is a girl to the inside. And that she has more like a slighter shape, and here the S shape. I sadly don't have that much S and boobs, so my S shape is a bit smaller than normally. But if you have like a really girl, not like me, you really have this popular S shape, which really helps to put your feminine features into the photo. Yeah, so can I get the next foil, please? Yeah, it's about a sexy or shy characters. Just let me like change that. So, can you maybe guess which character is more shy and which character is more confident? Does anyone have an idea? So, what you think about this character? Confident or shy? And why? Do you have an idea? Anyone? Why does it look confident? Okay. Can you come to the front and maybe tell what you're thinking?
I think her eyes look very confident and sexy, and also her mouth because it's open.
This is also really good, but it's also the pose. Because you can see like this pose is more like everything is more next to the body. Because confident people are more like this. They just make themselves bigger, like spreading their arms, like pushing their arms away from the body because they want, here I am, so what do you want? But if you have like more shy character, they are more like this. So everything is just more inverted, and they also tend to like the head to look down or to look up is more confident. So if I look like this, I'm really confident because I make myself bigger. But if I'm like this, it's like, hi, I don't know what you to do. It makes a huge difference if you think about it actually. And can I get the next foil? Yeah. This is what I explained before. This makes actually a huge difference. So, and the next thing is, of course, typical poses like Sailor Moon or like Naruto poses. So if you have something like this, for example, for Love Life of Nico, it's like, yay, Nico, Nico, ni. And if you do something like this, then everyone is like, yes, this is the character, and this is just perfect pose for your costume. So if you make like a costume, I like always to like Google the name and just scroll through the pictures you see on like Google, because then you get like kind of feeling for a character and typical poses. So if you're totally lost and saw all these poses and suddenly someone is like, can I take a picture of you? And you're like, I saw this pose on Google, and yes, I can now pose for you because I remember this pose. It really helps you to like move spontaneously, and also if you have like a photo shooting, you mostly have time to prepare before that, so you can think about poses. And also some cosplayers are printing the poses and just bring them with them so they can look, okay, yeah, this pose is cool, I want to do it. You just should know that not every pose in the anime looks good in real life, and sometimes it's just impossible because the character has like 1 meter leg and you don't have, and it's sometimes a bit difficult, but I always recommend to like take reference of the original. So does anyone has already some questions? No, okay, you can ask me. I'm not biting, I swear. Okay, when the next picture, please. Yeah, know your own body perspective is like everything. So, for example, I don't like my really round face. My face is like a moon. It's not good. Or like hips. I think a lot of girls have like, if they are doing cosplay, like too much hips, or you just don't like them. It's actually really up to you what you don't like about your face or about your body, because the pictures have to be to your liking. It's not to like for everyone else, it's for you. So you have to feel good on the pictures to like them. And sometimes, yeah, I'm also very small. I'm not the tallest person, so there are ways to like trick the perspective. For example, you can see here, like if I push my chin down, and the photographer is, for example, making pictures from above, you can like make your face longer when you just like push it a bit down, because it's like this is further away, so it gets smaller, so it looks like your chin is smaller. This is a kind of perspective a lot of people uses to like change their own features. Or for example, the hips, if you push them back, they are smaller because they are farther away from the lens. Are you with me? Yes, no, maybe. Toast bread, coffee? No? Okay. And yeah, and also the angle is if you take pictures from below, your legs get a bit longer. And if you were, for example, too tall for the character because you are like a 1 meter 80 or 90 girl, but you want to cosplay like Sweet Love Life characters which are 1 meter 30, you can take pictures from above because it makes like your legs become like shorter, which is also a trick for perspective to use it. This is why if you have like sweet or cute characters, it is better to take pictures from above. And if you have like really cool characters with long legs, it is always better to take like pictures from below, from the low angle. So, do you have any questions? Okay, then next, please. Yeah, what I always say is girls also always want to look like slim, right? Like the anime characters are very slim. Always try to like create triangles like this. So you have here some kind of triangle and try to have like body tension because body tension is so important. If you are a shy character or like a super lazy one, like from Al, from Death Note, then it's okay not to have body tension because the character is like this. But normally you look better with body tension on pictures. For example, here I have body tension, but I didn't do this triangle. I had my hand like here. And I look a bit round on this picture because if you view this, you think, oh, okay, here is the arm, so until here must be like the belly. But even if it's not the case, the viewer just gets this feeling. So it's better to create like a triangle like here, then the people see, oh yeah, it's actually pretty slim. And here is a picture without any body tension at all. Like not in the face, like not in the body. And if you see this picture, I hope everyone will also can tell me that the one in the middle is the best one of the three. Right? Yes? Okay. Okay, then next picture, please. So I always think that mimic is very important. Like here, someone drunken, or like here, really tsun like face, like Cinderella face. It is actually really difficult because if you yourself have a feeling like, oh, I look so cute, I'm smiling like crazy, and you just see the picture and you're like, oh, I'm not smiling at all. Actually, the face is like lying to you. What you feel is not always what it looks like. I know that there are people who are lucky enough to like, when they think they are smiling, they are really smiling. But for example, when I think I'm smiling slightly, I just look not pissed. So it is actually really difficult, and I always recommend to like go to the mirror and try to smile like in a several different angles, or to look angry, or to look drunk if you want to, and just to try to remember the feeling you have for your especially mouth and for your face, so you can like just get this feeling again to have the mimics for actually your photo shooting. So. A lot of people told me that they are like trying it with selfies. But actually, with selfies, the problem is that the perspective. You are changing the perspective a lot because you was like taking from above or from down. So you can use selfies for practice for it, and you can get a feeling. But it's always super difficult and different if you are doing a selfie or a photo shoot. So I always recommend to go with for the mirror because there is no beauty app, there is no app making your eyes bigger or stuff like this. It's not lying to you. And what I always say is that if you practice in front of a mirror, because you also can practice the poses, you always need to aware that when you look at the mirror, it's always what you see from your eye angle. If suddenly someone takes from below or from a high angle picture, it will change everything a bit. So even if you practice it, you always have to work with your photographer. Do you have any questions so far? Okay, then gets to the next step, working with your photographer. Yeah, I always think that working with a photographer, communication is the key because you can't see yourself. You don't know if you are right now eating your wig or it's just your feeling. You can't see if your wig just makes like this or your costume is just wrinkled all over. But the photographer can see you. So if you have a problem zone, for example a double chin and you just don't like it, or you have huge hips or a round face, just tell him because he can see what it might be the best angle to put you to make pictures. Of course, it always depends on how good your photographer actually is, because there were also some photographers who always like to take pictures from above because they just want to have cute pictures but don't want to put the character into the right pose. So it is always good to talk with your photographer beforehand. It is, in my opinion, also very important to follow the introductions of a photographer, because if he's someone who is experienced, he knows how to put you that you look good on pictures, because this is actually the work of a photographer, to make you look good on pictures. And if you have small things you want to try this triangle shape, but if you take it from this perspective, then you might still have the hand right at your hip, like here, like it would like this, because he's changing a perspective. And sometimes you just don't realize it. So if you just tell you to strap a bit like this, then just do it. I had some cosplayers who were discussing with a photographer, and it was just so really sad because I think he would have done really, really good pictures if the cosplayers would have followed his instructions. And what I always tell the people to is note the perspective, because I know that cosplayers just stand there and in pose, but you really have to think about if it's from low or from an upper angle. Because if he just changes, you also have to change your pose, especially your hat. If you just take pictures from below, I just make like this with my hat and I just go with my whole body a bit more down. Because if I just don't do it, my upper body will look super short. But if he's taking from above a picture, maybe you should just go a bit like this, so he can take more of your whole costume. I know it's very difficult because there were a lot of photographers who are changing angles all the time, but this is the way of working together. And I always think that posing is not the work of a photographer. He's just there to use your pose and to try to get the best picture of the pose you are doing and you are thinking of about. Wait. Do you have any questions? No? Okay. Then I'm going with the last point. Check your pictures. this is something I always think is really important because maybe you have a special location, maybe you have a very expensive location, and maybe this is the only chance to work at this location with this photographer. And if you just go back and see the pictures and think, oh, I don't like myself at all on the pictures, it is just very sad, and this is something you should really, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I messed up and it was just for nothing. And this is something, don't do it, don't do it. Always check the pictures, talk with a photographer about it, what you think you want to have, and he will tell you what he want to take as a picture. So always go there to the photographer, check the picture. Do you see? The pose is good, the picture is good, okay, then you move on. If you see, maybe I should change this a bit and this a bit, because mostly it's just like really small changes to make the picture perfect, but you can't correct it afterwards. Then you just look, okay, I try this, then you take the picture, and if it's okay, you can move to the next pose. But if it's not okay, you just correct it until you say, I'm satisfied, or until you say, this pose is just not possible, which also can be the case. And if you feel like the perspective is not fit to your body because you say like, I don't like pictures from above because I think that I'm just too small. And if you take pictures above, I just think that I just smaller than I'm actually are, although I'm already really small, then really tell him what he can make better to like make you happy, like you say these pictures are good, because I always think that pictures have to be for both sides. For the photographer, he has to be satisfied, and also as a cosplayer, you have to be satisfied. Which leads me also to the next thing. Please talk with a photographer beforehand. Which pictures you get, if you edit them, if he edits them, how many you can approximately get, and if you can use them freely or not. Because I had like photo shootings where I like invested like 3 or 4 hours, and afterwards the photographer told me that I'm not allowed to upload them even on Facebook or to show them anyone. And I was like, yeah, then why did I made a photo shoot with you if you are the only one who can use the pictures? Of course, if you had paid me as a job, it's something totally different, but since then, I'm always trying to make sure beforehand if I can get the pictures and if I can get also like posting them or edit them. This is super, super important. I don't know how it is here, but in Germany, it's actually a huge problem that the photographers are just giving you like one picture after a 4 hours photo shoot, and you paid like a huge amount for a location, which is really, really, really sad. Yeah. Next, please. So, thanks so much for listening to me. Vielen Dank in German. And if you have any questions or problems, yeah, please raise your hand and we will talk about it. Anyone? Do you mean like he's a villain, but very self-confident, or yeah? Uh, I think it is the pose is the same, like a very confident one, like I'm the boss, like here, like yay. He's like more the arms from the body away, and more like if it's a guy like this, and more like spreading himself, and like also the chin a bit up. And I think the villain part is something which you show more on the mimics, which is just like your mimics, like he just look really like villain like. But there were also some typical poses like this. Something, this is a pose a good gentleman won't do, I think. And I think this is like this, or like, hey, if you come to me, I will just kick your ass. If you show it in your pose, like, I think this is some kind of pose I would choose for such a character. There you go. Any more questions? Don't be shy. I'm not biting or eating you guys. You're fine like that? Okay, then thanks so much for listening to my panel. And if you still have some questions you didn't want to ask like publicly, I would be here just a few minutes, and you can just ask whatever you want to. If not, I will be afterwards at my booth, at the cosplay guest booth, and you can just ask me whatever you want to. So thanks so much for coming here, and I heard that I can give you points, and I would like to give you like 5 points. You have to go to this sweet lady afterwards, and thanks so much for coming here. Thank you!
Milí kolegové, doufám, že jste se krásně vyspali, protože dneškem začíná něco úžasného. Už 15 let otročíme pro Animefest. Otročíme s tím, že nevyděláme ani korunu, ale my chceme vydělat. Co chceme vydělat? Chceme vydělat víc. Nechceme už snídat rohlíky se salámem, ale chceme snídat kaviár se šampaňským. Co? Dámy a pánové, dovolte, abych vám představil Megakon. Hlavní cíle Megakonu jsou 3 věci. Vydělat, vydělat a vydělat!